Hello everybody, welcome to this first lecture, which is a summary lecture for complex integration. So summary lecture, the idea of summary lecture is we will not go into details of, we will not go into the proofs, right? So for if you want to go for detailed videos, so there is a separate playlist which is complex analysis. You can follow those videos, that is for detailed discussions for each topic. But for summary lectures, if you are in this particular playlist, so idea is that we are making this series for those students who are preparing for some exams and they have already done the detailed course in their, for example, while doing their BSc or MSc. So here they are just preparing for the exam and they want to keep the important things in their mind. They want to get the crux of everything. So these videos are for sure short. They are not detailed in any they are not complete in the sense that we are not proving anything, and we are just giving an overview of each thing. Okay, but obviously we will try to make it interactive, make it like we will try to connect different things. It is not like just we are writing the formulas and we are doing the problems, no, but we are trying to keep the things short but still somewhat you should understand in a little deep sense. Okay, but if you are interested in a deep study or a deep analysis of these things, then you should go for the complex analysis video lectures, that is the playlist complex analysis on the same channel. Okay, so let us see what is complex integration. So you see, suppose you have a function f of z. Z is a complex number, right? So this is a complex valued function of complex numbers, complex valued function of a complex number, right? So I will assume that you already know that what is continuity. What do you mean by continuity of complex valued functions? Continuity. Okay, if you don't know, please look for the previous videos and previous videos in the playlist. Okay, so I'll see if you miss any concept, then you can go to the playlist complex analysis, okay, for details, right? And then we have analyticity. So I will also make summary videos for these topics later on. So analyticity, we say that a function f of z is analytic at a point A. F of z is said to be analytic at a point A, analytic at a point A if it is differentiable at A and in her neighborhood of A. So you have a function which is differentiable at the point, and plus it is also differentiable in a neighborhood. So you have a region where your function is differentiable, then you say that your function is analytic at the point A, right? So these are the things which we require for continuing with this complex integration. Now you have a function f of z of complex variable, and then you have, suppose you have a curve. This is your input plane, so this is your z plane, or you can say this is your complex plane, and suppose C is a curve. Let C is a rectifiable curve, rectifiable curve means its length is finite, then we define integral of fz along the curve C. This is called integral of fz along the curve C, right? So we sometimes also call it as line integral of fz. We call it as line integral or complex line integral of the fz, line integral of fz. Okay, we also call it sometimes simply the line integral or definite integral, from A to B along the curve C if the starting point is A and end point is B. So there are so many names. So let us see what do we mean by this integral, because in real analysis when you have function of real numbers, then you have an idea that what do you mean by integral, that is actually the area under the curve. Here the integral, it is having the same kind of meaning. So this is your curve C and your starting point is A, end point is B. So idea is you divide this curve into say n parts. So suppose this is your first part, you call it as, you can call it as z0, which is equal to A, call it as z1, z2, z3, z4 and so on. This is your zn. So in between you put some points, say zeta 1, let us put a zeta 1 here, zeta 2 here, zeta 3 here and so on, zeta n here. So what you do, you call this length from z0 to z1, call it as delta z1. From z1 to z2 you call it as delta z2. From z2 to z3 you call it z3. From z3 to z4 you call delta z4 and so on. Last you call as delta zn. Right, now you have, what you do, you multiply f zeta 1 with delta z1 plus f zeta 2 delta z2 plus f zeta 3 delta z3 and so on, f zeta n delta zn. Right, so this is your, you call this sum as Sn, right. Now you have Sn is equal to this. Now what you do, you can just write it as f zeta k delta zk, k from 1 to n. Now you keep on decreasing the size delta zk, or keep on increasing the n number of subintervals. When you keep on increasing n, when n goes to infinity, this will go to a number which will be independent of what partition you are doing, because f is continuous. We have put this condition that f is continuous, right, and that number to which it will tend as n goes to infinity is called the integral of fz, okay, along the curve C. So this is the usual meaning which we talk about in case of real functions also, right. Now if fz is analytic, in a region R, because whenever you are talking about analytic, obviously you can talk about a point also, generally we talk about a region R. So suppose you have a region R and your function fz is analytic in this region R, then every analytic is continuous, fz is continuous in the region R. Therefore integral fz dz along C is defined, right. So it means that whenever your function is analytic in a region R, so for every curve C inside that region, obviously rectifiable, you can define this fz dz along the curve C. So this we will be doing all the times, right. And then we have properties of this integral fz dz. So let us look at properties. So properties are similar to what we have in case of real integrals. So first property is, if you have fz plus gz dz along a curve C, then obviously this will be, you can separate C fz dz plus C gz dz, right. This is the first property, okay. Then second property is that if you have a constant, this is very easy to understood from the definition. You can very easily see everywhere you will be having f plus g, and then very easily you can separate. And the next property is, if you have a constant a, fz dz along a curve C, you can always bring that constant outside, C fz dz, right. So the next property is, this is important, you see we have this property, let me write down. For reals you have this property, integral fx a to b dx is equal to minus integral b to a fx dx, right. So we have an analogous property for complex functions of complex variables. So what is that property? Suppose you have this curve C you are going from A to B, right? You are going along C from A to B, and if you are going along C from B to A, okay, we call this curve as minus C. So we have this along C fz dz will be equal to minus along minus C fz dz. So this is same as saying that if you are moving from A to B along C, that will be integral will be negative of what will you will get when you move from B to A. So this is this property, you will write it like this. So it should be understood that what is the meaning of C and minus C. So you are just reversing the direction of traveling, right? Okay. So next property, fourth property is you see you have this property A to B fx dx is equal to A to M fx dx plus M to B fx dx. If you have this situation, A here, B here and M somewhere here. This is the property for real functions, right? So similar property we have here also. So here what is the property? Suppose this is your curve C, this is your A point, this is your B point, this is your M point, and you compute your integral by traveling along C in this direction, and then you call this much curve, say this much curve you call at delta 1 or tau 1 moving in this direction, and this much curve you call as tau 2. So you have integral of fz dz along C will be equal to integral of fz dz along tau 1 plus integral of fz dz along tau 2, right? So this is the fourth property. We will be using these properties. And then the next one is that suppose you have fz is less than equal to m on C. Okay, on your curve, your function fz is bounded by m. So in that case, what will happen? In that case, if you talk about fz dz along C, if you talk about modulus of this thing, that will be less than is equal to integral fz dz along C. So now this number is less than equal to m. So this is less than equal to m. C fz, sorry, not fz, fz is outside, dz. Now what is this? This is the length of the curve. This is equal to L, which is length of C. So you have that integral fz dz along C mod is less than equal to m into L, where m is bound on fz along C and L is the length of the curve C, right? So we have this property. Okay, so let us do one problem based on what we have studied, like these things. So suppose you have this problem. Evaluate integral z bar dz from z is equal to 0 to z is equal to 4 plus 2 iota along a curve given by curve C given by z is equal to t square plus iota t, right? So here you see, you can very easily put z bar means conjugate. So your z bar will be x minus iota y dz. dz means you are talking about z is along the curve. So your x along the curve is t square and y along the curve is t. So this will be t square minus iota t into d of z is your t square plus iota t. And t is from, if you move from z from 0 to z equal to 4 plus 2 iota means t is from 0 to 2, right? So this is t square minus iota t into this will be 2t dt plus iota dt. Okay, so this is your 0 to 2. So you can just compute this. This is 2t cube and then you have t square iota, and from here you have minus t square iota, 2t square iota. So you have minus iota t square, and then you have this into this, that will be plus t dt from 0 to 2. So this integral here is 2 t raised to power 4 by 4 minus iota t cube by 3 plus t square by 2, limits 0 to 2. So you just put the values, you'll get 10 minus 8 by 3 iota, right? So this is your answer. So you see, simple to compute. right? Let us do one more. So you have compute 0, 3 to 2, 4. So you have 2y plus x square dx plus 3x minus y dy along the parabola y is equal to 2t, sorry, x is equal to 2t and y is equal to t square plus 3. So parabola is given, right? Now you see, you are moving from xy is equal to 0, 3 to 2, 4. So it means that your t here is, you can see 0, and here your t is 1, right? So if you put t1, you will get 2, 4 point. So you have to go from t from 0 to 1. So your integral is 0 to 1. 2y, y is your t square plus 3 plus x square, that will be your 4t square. Now what is your dx? Dx will be 2 dt plus 3 x is your 2t, so that will be minus 60 minus y, that will be minus t square minus 3, dy is your 2t dt. So you just compute it, do the integration, this will be 33 by 2. So you see, this is simple complex integral. Okay, so we are talking about integral of a complex function along a curve C, right? So this is the summary of what you can do with these with this concept of complex line integral. Thank you. Please share this video and subscribe to this channel.